Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic/Non-Classics. This is episode number 2165 and Doubleshot number 2059. Now this one, like in the case of the previous digital review, let's get some more digital stuff, reviewing issues from, well, Superboy, which, and of course issue of Karate Kid, which was collected in Legion Super-Heores Archive Volume 12, which is the second to last archive edition released, because the next one we'll discuss in our Comic Corner, which will actually be right next to this one, discussing the final issues collected in our archive editions. Yes. Now, interesting fun fact about these issues. We'll go from 213 to 223. Interesting fun fact about 222. It is actually the first issue where the title changed from just Superboy starring the lead Super-Heores. That was just a tagline on the cover, wasn't official title of the book. Verse 202, 222 to 258, the title was changed to, from that point, 258 to Superboy and the Legion Super-Heores. Yep, it did. And we're going to discuss those issues. We're first going to start with issue 213, which, by the way, we're finishing up Jim Shooter's stuff on the book. Mike Grohl is the artist issues, and we will get a chance to see the debut of Paul Levitz on the book. You're thinking, really? Paul Levitz? Yep, Paul Levitz. Now you're probably asking, Nick, when the heck did he take over the book? Well, we'll get to that, don't worry. So, Jim Shooter, if you're curious now, he is kind of on this book very, very briefly. Yes, very briefly. Well, the first issue he did work on was issue 135, which I discussed in the previous Comic Corner. He did 240, and the last one he did he came back with 209 as official rater for the book. And he was there to about pretty much, well, up until 238. That was the last issue he did. But he was in the book even after the book was retitled. Yep. Yeah. So, basically, with these, now the only issue he skips is 216 and 218. But yeah, he's pretty much here for all the issues. For 213, he does the opening issue and the backup issue. For 214, it's Carrie Bates coming back. Carrie Bates does some of the backup story of this one. Now, what is his last issue he does of the book? The last issue he does of the book was issue 220. Yeah, he's on here for about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 more issues. And then he's done with the book. Well, until I'll get to what he does afterwards, because it's quite interesting what he does to the book afterwards. I'll discuss that next Comic Corner. So yeah, he does the backup story for issue 214. And it basically kind of does the opening story, but he's swapped with Jim Shooter. It's him and Jim Shooter for a while. 216 is noteworthy for being the first appearance of Tarek. Yes, a character who was actually probably with the group for quite some time. Yeah, but he was not in the main book very long. No, he's only here for like some issues per se. He came on with issue 216, was here for 218, and then he came back for a couple other appearances. Mostly, he became more active in the next, well, in the book Legion Lost, and of course Legion was Volume 3. He's basically not that big of a character in the book. But yeah, 216 is his debut. He doesn't join right away, but he does join a little later. We have another one-shot character, Phil Marshall Roca, just an alien who they have to deal with, and he's only here just for 218. Yeah. Also, we basically predestined Superboy's future relationship with Lois Lane. Oh, Turok joins the team with issue 218. First appearance of Absorbency Boy. Neighbor, think Absorbency Boy. Who is that, you might ask? Well, he becomes more active with the Jeff Johns stuff. Let me show off who the heck this guy really is, because it is quite shocking who he is. Okay, here he is. This is the Absorbency Boy. Now, if you don't recognize his face, well, that's not surprising, because this guy became a prominent character under Jeff Johns and Paul Levitz. This is Earthman. This is his debut. Yes, the character became Earthman, the main villain of Jeff Johns' story, Superman and the Legion of Super-Heroes. And here's the strange thing, though. After this story, he basically appeared as a character named Zartz for this one issue. But here's the strange thing about him. Apparently his next official appearance, after this one issue, will not be until 1991. Yes, Earthman. Kurt Nagrath. And he is sadly no longer alive. Well, in this current continuity he is. Yeah, so he was here for this one issue. And then he, of course, well, get this. They actually had an appearance for him in The Green Lantern, Season 2, Issue 11. Yeah, for some reason they threw him in there, probably as a flashback appearance. Oh yeah, he appears just in the cover. But, yeah. He doesn't actually physically appear in the book, so... Yeah, this guy, so basically he appeared in that one-off issue. He appeared also in, and then he returned in, well, then he returned in the Superman and the Legion of Superheroes storyline, which started with issue 859. Well, actually it was 858. Yeah, excellent story Jeff Johns did for the book. 858, 863. Yeah, it's something that Jeff Johns brought back this semi-obscure character at that point in time. And of course, made a guest appearance in Adventure Comics 521. Because, of course, it was dealing with religion. And he was there for the entirety of Volume 6. I came back for 2 issues of Volume 7. as a ghost. Yeah, he came back as a ghost. Yep, as a ghost. But yeah, basically reviewing this issue here, this kind of in a way covers all of his appearances. Yeah. So, if you're curious though, this issue was released back in July of 1976. That was the debut of this character. We also had the debut of Quake Kid. Yeah, who basically, I think, for stomach pains. He made 2 appearances. Well, actually, this was his sole appearance. He appears in a Who's Who, and that was it for him. Yep, that was it. Yeah, the whole thing is like this Zart's character was shared by 7 people. Superboy, Sunboy, and Zardak. And of course, this guy was a new one. So it was Legion Reject. But yeah, that was the thing with this issue. Yeah. Like, if you're curious, if you're a fan of the Jeff Johns Legion stuff, check this issue out because this is the debut of the main villain of that story arc. Yep. Only if you're curious though, what happened in these issues that I'm discussing here? Well, in 213, they just basically deal with the fighting with alien standard Legion stuff. But still good storytelling by Jim Shooter. Then we have issue 214, where the opening story is simply a kid who wants to destroy the Legion superheroes after they just saved his life. Yep. That is simply the plot of this issue. Yep. That's the plot of the first story. The backup story, which is done by Carrie Bates, it just basically does what's up with Shrieking Violet and Brainiac 5. Yep, just a story for them. 215. It's an issue where Sunboy's power goes out of control, and apparently the appearance by, it looked like his brother, and it's a very interesting issue for Sunboy, who in the 3-book continuity became a very controversial character because of association with terrorists. Like I already mentioned in the case of 216, debut of this guy here. By the way, this is this snazzy superhero. And if you're curious, who created this guy? I believe it was Carrie Bates. Yeah, it was Carrie Bates who created them. The backup story just deals with Bouncy Boy and Duo Damsel. Yep. Yeah, I already mentioned about 217 already. 218, Earthman's debut. 219. It's basically another time when the Legion fights the Fatal Five for an issue. Yep. Always enjoy the Fatal Five. Famous creations of if you think about it, you gotta thank Jim Shooter for creating these characters, because without Jim Shooter, we wouldn't have these classic, iconic characters when it comes to Legion superheroes. The Fatal Five, one of 2 villain groups. Yep. And of course, like 220 is like standard Legion fare, fighting for like probably alien planet, just one-shot issue. Living Nightmare for Dream Girl. Also was noted out here online apparently that with issue 220 became a monthly title. Yep. And okay, what about 221, you might ask? Well, $221, the last issue where it's called Superboy, before officially retitled the Superboy and the Legion Superheroes. Yeah, it's an issue where you have Superboy under control of a beautiful woman for a whole issue, and having this guy who looks like an older version, looks like a slightly younger version, Perry White, working for her. Yeah, it's a very standard Legion issue, and I don't think she appears again after this one. I don't think so. Oh, she appeared for a few appearances, which I'll discuss in one future. Basically, she made her return after this issue in 240. Mm-hmm. As for Gamma the Chainsman, he actually became somewhat a prominent character after this issue. Oh yeah, definitely. After this debut issue, he returned for 240, and then he returned as a handful of issues of Legion Volume 2, one issue of Legion Volume 4, a couple issues of Legionnaires, a pair of Legion of Christ of Five Worlds, and that's it. He became somewhat of a minor recurring character. But here's the issue that's the important one. The issue where the title itself becomes Superboy and the Legion of Super-Heores. Yep. Yeah, this issue right here. Yeah, and we have, is like a one-shot character in this issue? Actually, no, this guy actually appears for, one air appearance. Yeah, his next appearance after this one is, an issue of DC Special, and that's it for him. No, seriously. Yeah, he appears for, one air at a time. It's all about... It's a bit of a racist style issue, per se. But kind of a weird start. And by the way, Carrie Bates wrote this issue. And, of course, Jim Shooter has the backup story. With 223, it's just Jim Shooter. I think Carrie Bates is done for a bit. But I think 222 is actually his last regular issue he does for a while. Mm-hmm. But as for the final issue to discuss here, issue 223. This issue we have the return of the Time Trapper. Yep, the Time Trapper. If you're curious, who created this guy? Well, it was Jim Shooter. Nope, he had nothing to do with the creation of this character. Edward Hamilton and John Fulton. First appearance, Adventure Comics 317. So, yeah, this character predates his previous appearance. Mm-hmm. And if you're curious, though, prior to this issue, what was his last official appearance to date? So his last appearance was in... Let's see. It had been a while since probably he was last seen in the book. So it was actually just Superman 295. That was his last physical appearance to date. Yeah. But he's here for just this issue and the following one. I'll discuss the following issue in our comic corner, but yeah. But that's basically what it is when it comes to Time Trapper. Now here's the thing about Time Trapper. No one has any idea what the heck this guy looks like. He's been a complete mystery for years. And well, that's pretty much it for that one. Next up we have is Karate Kid. Yep. Now, for some reason, the Legion Archive book only collected just this one issue, not the rest of the series. And if you're curious, it lasted for 15 issues, this book. And you're thinking, really? It did? Oh yeah, it did. It lasted for that long. As for why in the world they included this issue between 215 and 216, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like they basically just have it here just so they can, well, basically he had, they decided to spin them off in his own book and just basically just. It's him basically in the 20th century to stay. So it's basically. Oh, and by the way, this issue was written by Paul Levitz. Yep. But yeah, the issue is actually pretty good. Just chasing the Nemesis kid. He just, you could say the first issue just basically like a backdoor pilot, just a pilot episode to his own comic book. Yep. I'm gonna give these issues roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Now, by the way, my next comic corner I'll be discussing the last ones. I'm discussing the digital one for Legion stuff. All right, next up we have is from the world of Flashpoint, featuring Superman. Yep. Now, this contains like two miniseries, one ongoing series, and a one-shot. We have Project Superman, written by Scott Snyder and Lau Francis. World, by the artwork by Gene Ha. World of Flashpoint is by Rex Ugly. Boost to Go Turbulence is done by his written and drawn by his creator Dan Jurgens. Was artwork by Liver Clarity, I.G. Guerrera, Norm Rampin, Ray Goose, Roy Juice, and Don Q. Mike, the Canterbury Cricket, Mike Carlton, who's already, and Rag Morales and Ryan Brandt as the artist. Project Superman. Excuse me. This miniseries is noteworthy for being basically the backstory of the Flashpoint Superman, where at first basically focus on this. By the way, Lex Luthor's in a miniseries, but he's a kid, and his father's there too, Lionel, and for some reason he's drawn like the actor plays him in Smallville. I don't know why, but he is, and. Okay, so basically we kind of detail exactly like how Superman got here, where he comes like halfway through issue 2 of his own miniseries. Yes. Mostly probably focus on like General Lane, who they changed his skin color for some reason. He's a bit more darker. He looks like he's kind of Hispanic. He's not black per se. It's just how the colorist basically colors him. Yep, so you just have basically with the whole Project Superman stuff. Who this guy is, I'm not really sure because he doesn't play a role. It's like they were trying to make him Superman, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Well, that is until Superman shows up in Metropolis, and at the end of issue 1. Yes, that's where Clark shows up. Yeah, instead of landing in the fields of Kansas, picked up a Kansas, he crash lands in the middle of Metropolis and caused deaths of millions. And he's in prison for it, despite the fact it's not his fault. So he's in prison and given the suit S1, and he's basically a very slim guy. Yes. Oh, by the way, General Lane is in the book, and he does know about it. And also, he does meet Lois when she's much younger than he currently is, and she does meet him later on when he breaks out thanks to Flash, Batman, and Cyborg. Yep. At the end of the miniseries, this version of Lois dies, which is strange. I think she did die in miniseries, I don't remember. But it's a very interesting miniseries, what it is. It's not terrible, but... Oh yeah, by the way, Crypto... Crypto in this book kills Lex. Yep. He kills his world's version of Lex Luthor. Now, in the case of the world of Flashpoint, this book in particular, it's focused on Tracy 13. Yep, Tracy 13. She's the star of this miniseries. Now, why they call it World of Flash featuring Tracy 13, I'm not sure, but yeah, you might think, oh, this is basically an anthology book. Not really. It's mostly about her going around the world. By the way, this is the main cover for issue 1. But yeah, she's the start of it. And now here's the thing. In the main timeline, Doc 13 he's got a wife, he's got a daughter. There's no mention of him having sons. None at all. And then, of course, sons are killed by, well, the Amazons. And apparently she remembers the world, like, so apparently she, has memories of the real Flashpoint, where she's basically in a relationship with Blue Beetle. So he's mad up with Doc 13, like in the main timeline, is a skeptic. So she goes visit various people throughout this book, gathering allies. The first person she encounters is Madame Xanadu, who is actually an older woman than she does appear in the main timeline. Yep, that's Madame Xanadu. Much more older woman. Now, yes, not sure why they had picked like this for, because here's the thing. Madame Xanadu is immortal and she's smoking hot. Here, she's just a woman probably in her 50s. So kind of like a preview of the real timeline-ish with the JSA and apparently the Amazons, like just 3 people. So basically, she tries to stop her father from trying to destroy the world, but doesn't really help out. And of course, you have, looks like a version of Black Adam, but it's not really Black Adam. It's like, I think it's supposed to be Obsidian. We have August Shadow of Iron of the Great 10, Red Star of Russia from Teen Titans, Razugo of Egypt, who's much more younger than he only appears, Dr. Light, I'm not sure the guy from Saudi Arabia is, Adeline Kane. Adeline Kane, that name sounds familiar. I think that's supposed to be Captain Nazi of Germany? Seriously? Why the heck would he be here? That makes no freaking sense at all. Impala, South Africa? Yeah, they all agreed to basically, like... So they want to basically fire an attack on them. And, of course, Dr. Strange trying to stop his daughter, but not really. And, of course, Black... And, of course, she gets affected. And, of course, she gets out of there. Of course, he thinks he's doing it for his daughter. And, of course, apparently we have Madame Xanadu dies. Yes. And then apparently she runs into a version of Red Tornado when they go to Japan, where apparently Dr. Morrow is dead. Yes, Dr. Morrow. T.R. Morrow. T.O. Morrow. The co-creator, the creator of Red Tornado and Amazo. Actually, that's Anthony Ivo, but yeah, he's the guy who knows Anthony Ivo. So then, of course, she hops up the province of Brazil, where she runs into Natasha Irons, the daughter of Steel. Well, niece of Steel. Yeah. Runs to her here, who does look a little different. Yep. And then she runs into a version of, looks like Monsieur Mala. And a version of Beast Boy, who apparently is under mind control. Though she apparently kills him, and of course, then she bobs up out to Australia, where she runs into Guy Gardner. Now you might be thinking, Guy Gardner running a bar in Flashpoint? Yeah, this actually was mentioned. I've heard about this, and also he did run a bar in the main timeline too, so... So basically, yeah, that's basically what happens to him. So, drinks up, and of course deals with her Flash allies, and eventually she does take on her father. Tries everything, but doesn't help very much at all. Does she die? No, not really. And then she kind of gets involved with some kind of time bubble, where she basically just... And then apparently, like her father basically goes to space and destroy the satellite, was aimed at London. But she answered it back, and then, of course, basically... Then we go into the Boost to Gold issues. The Boost to Gold issues. Who I should point out, though, are the final issues released for the series. Now, the previous issues, the previous 5 issues, still not in trade. But yet, these 4 should get in trade. I was really hoping, though, at the time when I was reading... When these issues came out, I was just getting DC. I was thinking... Could we please see issue 50 for this book? Nope, these 4 issues are the end of this book. In this book, Boost to Gold ends up in the Flashpoint timeline, completely immune to the effects of the Flashpoint universe. And the reason is because he's a time traveler. Barry's immune because he basically is a Speed Force. So, gets transported there. And of course, he gets fired upon because he thinks he's an Atlantean. Yes, because the Atlanteans are at war with the surface, along with the Amazons. Yep. And of course, I think he is. And then of course, basically, like, the kind of explore his backstory, which we've ever seen before. What's up with JLI? Just really cool stuff here. And he's like, send it out. And of course, he tried to help out, but then of course, see on the board before everything changed, we see why did it happen to Bruce? Shazam, the Wonder Woman of Princess of War. Wonder Woman Princess of War. That's interesting because I think it's not to relaunch the character. The heroine Jimmo returns. God bless the cyborg. Can't tell what anyone is. Yet where's Superman? Ask Booster. Abbott's Savior. Rampage of the Creature Commandos. Free Subject 1. The Changing Man. Captain Cold equals Hero. Yeah, a lot of Flashpoint references here. So all about basically, of course, he goes back there and can't find anybody because the whole Flashpoint affected everything. And he tries to activate what the heck when Seeks gets damaged. And then he's under attack by frickin' Doomsday. Yes, Doomsday. Yes, he fights Doomsday in this miniseries, in these issues. Now, it makes perfect sense that Dan Jurgens write these issues. Why? Because, here's the thing. Both these two characters, he created both of them. Doomsday, if you're not familiar with this look for him, this was his original look when he first showed up in the Death of Superman storyline, before all the excess cover got removed. Oh yeah, and then of course it's revealed that he's under control of General Nathaniel Adam, aka Captain Adam, is controlling Doomsday for some reason. And it's a good thing Doubleshot does know Doomsday. He fought this guy in the original storyline. So they brawl for a while. Of course, you see him saving a woman named Alexandra. Gets more to her. Yeah, apparently Nathaniel's actually aged. Apparently he did not turn to Captain Adam and he aged normally. So she does reveal her name to be Alexandra Gantopoulos. Which is interesting, the fact that it's like that. And here's the thing. She actually is only in this timeline. Here's the thing. She only appears just in the Booster Code issues. And then she's never seen again. No, seriously. She's never seen again. So apparently we did see him before in the pages of Project Superman. So he appears not only in these issues, but also in, well, Project Superman first opening 2 issues. He's also in Frankenstein Creatures of the Unknown. And he also returned for Flashpoint Beyond. So at least he actually managed to survive this time. At least he came back, unlike Bush's book. So she details exactly what's going on with the Flashpoint stuff. And she does kind of help because she's got powers too. And of course, they still think he's Atlantean. And finds out, like, oh, like, Nate? Yep, somehow they control him. Yep. At one point, he goes on a rampage. And then, of course, Booster volunteers to stop because, after all, he does have experience fighting Doomsday. Because here's the thing about people might forget about Doomsday. Because people think, oh, Doomsday fought Superman. Superman apparently died. And then basically Doomsday died. Well, here's the thing. Before Doomsday fought Superman, he fought the Justice League International. Booster Gold was one of the first people in line to actually fight him. And Ted Kord fight him too, and he got knocked to a coma. Booster Gold got suit damage because of it. He's able to stop Doomsday, and then, of course, basically, after they deal with the whole confusion thing, and, well, they become in control thanks to Alexander, who actually has Doomsday kill himself. And then they go to London, where basically he runs into Barry, kind of basically intersecting what goes on in issue 5 of basically Flashpoint. And of course, he gets kissed by Alexandra. And they're like, oh, is timeline restored? Well, he gets back and nothing's been fixed. Like, the whiteboard's replaced, and we see this mysterious white light person. And we see fully what basically the thing says. We see the terror of Aquaman. The outsider is in. One to apprentice of war. God bless the cyborg. Where is the Superman? Yeah, basically all Flashpoint stuff. And that's it for that book. Before I can talk about cancel credit, I have to give my final thoughts on Booster Gold Volume 2. This is an excellent book. Highly recommend checking it out. Yeah, most of it is not in trade. Most of it is in trade, but not all of it. But it's an excellent book. Not the only kind of here's kind of the strange thing though. The latter half of the Key Containing Milestone is basically mostly like they have like 2 good issues of the remaining 5. 39, 45 or 43 are really good. The 3-parter is okay. It just mostly just falls with a minor plot thread, but the Dan Jurgens issues are excellent. They are the best issues of the whole series. The first half of the Key Containing Milestone is really good. But the one thing I like about those issues is that no whiteboard. Yeah, no chalkboard. Yep, but an excellent run. Now you might be thinking, am I done reading all Booster Gold books? No, not really. I may have done reading his ongoing stuff, but there technically is a couple mini-series left. There is Converge Booster Gold, which Dan Jurgens does do that book. He does do also the Converge Superman book, which is really good. With my friend Tibby loves that mini-series because basically it's the debut of John Kent. The other book he does is the Blue and Gold mini-series, which is a team-up between Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. And aside from 2 books, that's mostly it. Alright, Cancer Cricket. This guy here is a complete original character for this continuity. And oddly enough, after this one-shot issue, he is never seen again. No, seriously, he is never seen again. Now, why in the world he's never seen again, I have no freaking idea. Yeah, it's just a one-shot issue. Yeah, and he only appears just in this one issue. Oh, he did appear in another book. He appeared in Flashpoint, Lois Lane Resistance for a couple issues, and a couple issues of he appeared. Just a little book for him. It's mostly just exploring how he became the way he is. It's just an original Flashpoint hero. That's most what Camera Cricket is. And there is no other versions character, mostly. Okay, he does exist on Primer, but basically he was part of Knights Incorporated, which appeared in Doomsday Clock. Yep, but that was the only time he appeared after this one. Yeah. Oh yeah, he did also appear in the Flashpoint Paradox movie, with a slightly altered look. But the comic credit issue is okay. Not much on home about this issue, just appearance by a original character for Flashpoint. Okay, so that's the particular view. I've been doing this almost 40 minutes, so let's wrap it up here. So I'm gonna give this trade here a 9.5 out of 10. Booster Gold issues, a 10. Cancer Cricket, I'm gonna give that a 8. Project Superman, give that a 9. Basically, I'll give that a 9. Okay, but yeah. So next video is gonna be Trigon Stampede. Okay, next video. Bye.